The widely acclaimed TV series Insecure, created by and starring Issa Rae, returned to HBO on Sunday for its fifth and final season. As you fans out there already know, Insecure follows two modern-day black women, Issa and Molly, played by Yvonne Orji, and the awkward experiences that they face as adults in both their careers and their love lives. And that's where my next guest comes in. Leonard Robinson is the incredible actor who plays Torian, Molly's co-worker on Insecure. And it seems there could be some big changes in store for both Torian and Molly in the episodes to come. Here to tell us more about it is one of the stars of Insecure, the amazing actor Leonard Robinson. Welcome to the show, my brother.
No, I appreciate it. I'm honored. Thanks for having me.
Talk to me about, if you can, I mean, don't give away too much now, but what can you tell us about your character, Torian on Insecure, and his relationship with Molly on the show? I ask because when you first came on the show, man, I ain't like you that much. You were a little rough. You were a little bit much. You had that Morehouse stuff going with you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, that was just a lot of fun because I went to Howard. So when I found out he was a Morehouse man, I was like, oh, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this up. I'm not here to give any spoilers. I can't because I don't know really everything until you really see it. So, but I think people are going to be happy that these characters have finally come to a resolution, and it's coming to the end that Issa had already envisioned when she first started the show. Only 5 seasons and mission completed, and then some.
I think that's one of the things I appreciate about the show, actually, is, you got 8 episodes each season, and some seasons, like last season, you had 10. But it's a very tight show and a very HBO kind of thing, right? It runs its course. It's done. It leaves on a high. The Wire left after 5 seasons. This leaves after 5 seasons. I think that's smart, and the show is still interesting. And I know you said you can't give any spoilers, but yeah, we gonna see some romance between you and Molly by the season, man. Give me something.
Well, Molly's journey and a lot of people's on the show's journey is that about relationship issues and growth. And I contribute heavily to some of that growth. I'll just say that. You saw, if you watched last season, if you watched season 4, there was a point where, there was an office confrontation, and I just basically asked her to stop playing games and just be real and be a coworker I can depend on. And Molly came clean and decided that she was, able to admit that she had been wrong in the way she'd been treating our relationship in the office. And I think that's a big turning point for her, not only with the professional relationships, but also how she views her personal relationships.
No, I think that's right. What do you love most about Insecure in terms of how it explores the realities of Black life? Is there a particular piece of Black life that it covers that you think is particularly special to you?
I think what they've done very well is celebrate Los Angeles, to the 10. I mean, you see all little nooks and crannies of LA, all different facets of Black people running around in Los Angeles, and shows us in a positive light. And so that's one thing. And I think the biggest thing I'll take away from the show is what they've done behind the scenes to employ people and to further advance other people's careers behind the camera, which it's truly amazing the kind of work that they've done, finding people, getting people employed, and mentoring them and advancing their careers. Everybody, years from now, when people have these shows and you're wondering where they come from or where did all this talent come from, a lot of it's going to be traced back to this show.
No, I think that's an important point. And you can even see how this show kind of branches off of a show like Girlfriends, where you had people like Lena Waithe. You just had a whole writer's room of amazing, brilliant, talented people, and nobody was threatened by that. And so instead of getting people who would just say, yes, you got a bunch of, you got equals. And it branched off into amazing stuff like Insecure. So watching the next branch, I think will be amazing. But how does that feel for you? I mean, there's such an amazing cast here that you have to say goodbye to. It's 5 seasons. when they say it's a season wrap or it's a series wrap, I mean, did you cry? Did you feel sad? How do you feel saying goodbye to all of this?
Yeah, I mean, on a practical sense, when you're just shooting TV, when they say wrap, you're just like, oh, good, I can go home. But, but emotionally, yeah, it's like, oh wow, this big movement is over. This big push and this magical experience is over, and that's given a lot of us time to kind of really reflect and appreciate and look back on the whole experience. I'm truly blessed and honored to have been part of that world and that universe.
One of the other things you do is you write, you direct, you do stand-up comedy. You were actually a wrestling champion, and you got a black belt in judo. Like, how did you become this kind of person? I mean, as somebody who attended Morehouse, I expect that from a Morehouse man, but I didn't expect a Howard person to be that gifted and talented. How'd you manage to do all of that?
Shots fired. Well, truth be told, I was great. I was great wrestling in high school. I was terrible in college. So that's how I was able to do, transition and pivot into everything else. And judo I've been doing since I was a little kid. It's just, it's in my DNA. But I think, actually I was reflecting on this a couple weeks ago. I read a little bit about the Harlem Renaissance when I was a kid, and I just always was kind of amazed at and all the people that did so many different things. I was like, how can you do so many different things? And I discovered that you just do it kind of by accident more than anything. It's either out of necessity or it's by accident. And so, career-wise, yeah, writing and stand-up and directing, that's kind of become out of a necessity. And, all my other interests kind of just by accident.
Wow, no, that's great work. Before you go, man, I want to ask you about a Twitter controversy that's been bubbling for the last 2 days. People have been in their feelings that in the first episode of this season, Tiffany, played by Amanda Seales, was at Stanford at homecoming, and she had on her AKA sweater. The character Tiffany is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Amanda Seales is not. People were in their feelings. They still are, still trending on Twitter. What do you make of it?
I make nothing of the nonsense. First I say, leave my best friend alone. Amanda's a wonderful person and very talented. But look, the character is an AKA, and she's doing her job to represent. So, if I were to say anything, for one of those people, if you love the show for its accurate depiction and celebration of Black culture, and then you hate on the actor doing their part to portray the character that celebrates Black culture, then that's a red flag, red flag, red flag. So, that's on you to be all up in AKA should be running around taking another victory lap. They got Kamala, and now we got Tiffany Tiffany and Molly. Actually, let me think about it. They're both been AKA since the first episode. So I don't really know what the issue is. I mean, Yvonne Orji's been drinking out of a AKA cup at the law firm every episode. So what are we talking about here?
What are we talking about? I happen to agree with you, brother, but sometimes what happens on social media is different than, or it represents a particular pocket of people and a particular vision of the world. It's different than some other pockets, and I respect all of it. So it's a healthy conversation to have. I was just surprised to see it. How much of that do you think is about being protective of those organizations, and how much of it do you think is personal, like about the person wearing it?
It's probably a little bit of both, but really it's probably just more people new to the organization, period, who get upset about it. Secretly, Torian Jackson is an Omega from Morehouse, but in real life, I'm an Omega from Howard. I mean, that's the real controversy that I allowed myself to play a Morehouse man.
Look, man, you've made some great choices in life. You are a wonderful, wonderful actor, man. And the fact that you chose the wrong side of 1911, the fact that you chose November 17th instead of January 5th, look, nobody's perfect.
Okay.
I believe in a God of second chances, my brother. So I will forgive you for that, and I will shout you out for the incredible work that you and the rest of the cast do on Insecure. Thank you, my brother, for joining me on Black News tonight.